Welcome to the Lee Etzler Show, a weekly wrap-up and analysis of Churubusco High School Football.
Eagles, what is your profession? Out, out, out.
And now your host, Big Daddy Don Hyatt.
Hi, I'm Don Hyatt, and welcome to Lee Etzler Show. This week we'll be talking to the coach about the Eagles' exciting come-from-behind victory over Culver Academy. Also, we'll be previewing this week's game against NECC rival Fairfield. We'll be joined later by offensive line coach Paul Sade, so stick around. We'll be right back after this.
I lost my job and I needed help with different things like prescriptions and energy assistance and stuff. So I contacted United Way. They was the first ones that I could think of. And I went to the agencies that they gave me a list of and got the assistance that I needed from them. Because I received the help from United Way, then I'm volunteering my help out to the community, giving the help that they need.
Hey football fans, do you want to keep track of Churubusco High School football games? Log on to busconews.com every game day and watch up-to-the-minute pregame, halftime, and postgame interviews with head coach Lee Etzler. Stay connected with your computer or on your cell phone. busconews.com. When you can't make it to the game, it's the next best thing to being there. The Lee Etzler Show is brought to you by the United Way of Whitley County, busconews.com, and the Churubusco News.
Welcome back. We're here talking to the coach about the Eagles' 24-21 victory over Culver Academy. Lee, great come-from-behind win for the kids.
Well, it was nice to be in that situation, you know, with how some of our earlier games have gone. We haven't been behind. We haven't been put in that situation. So against a good team, being in that situation and coming out on top, we feel we're going to be in that situation again, and we need to respond well. So we kept playing. Felt like we didn't approach the game as well as we should have early, but at least we stuck with things and pulled her out at the end.
If we can here, go through that final drive there. You're down 21-16. You get the ball back, you're on your 9-yard line. You got 91 yards for the score.
Well, wasn't real happy when the punt rolled to the 9-yard line, but we had a little bit of momentum. Scored on our previous offensive possession. Played pretty good defense there after that, and so we felt we could do some good things. It, you know, really helped with a 30-plus yard run by Matthewson on that first play, and that got. Not only does that get our kids, our sideline fired up, well, the other team has a tendency to think, you know, uh-oh type thing. So, you know, the first play was key, and then, you know, we threw out a different formation that they weren't used to, and we kind of liked how they were lining up against the formation and thought we could play some games with them down our sideline, and we were fortunate enough to move the ball all the way down.
And your defense, I mean, they played well out there. A lot of times in the Culver backfield. Justin Turnbow, he busts through the line here, and he's got his hand on the quarterback before he gets a chance to hand the ball off. Yeah,
he's making some strides. You know, he's a big, strong kid, and he also has some quickness. And you know, we think he's learning to play the position a little better each week. You know, when you have a kid that's that big and that strong and also has some quickness, well, he poses some problems for offenses. So he showed that a little bit on Saturday, and you know, we're still trying to improve. But you know, I would be concerned about him if he was on the other team. So we're glad we have him, and he did a pretty good job Saturday.
As well as Jordan Turner. I mean, Turner had, I think he had 2 sacks here Saturday. This one here is right here late in the game, where it forced him to, I think they lost 6 yards on that play, and they threw the interception to Kyle Monk right after on the next play.
Yeah, Jordan did have a very good game. The thing that we were probably most proud of was probably the leader more than anybody else in the second half for our team as far as his attitude. He was, we don't want our guys, we want our guys to enjoy the competition. It wasn't going to be easy in the second half. Well, him as much as anybody kind of led us with the proper attitude you need to have. We want like I said, we want our kids to enjoy it, and he was having a pretty good time in the second half.
There's a lot of yellow hankies out there during the ball game.
Yeah, there's probably quite a few calls that you scratch your head about. We need to play hard regardless of what happens, and it doesn't matter what game you play. You probably can point to an officiating call that probably could have gone for you when it really went against you. We want our guys to understand we need to play hard regardless. So we're not going to get wrapped up in this is unfair, that's unfair type thing, because all that does is take away from the motivation of our football team. So griping and yelling and getting caught up in that doesn't do anything positive for us. So we're going to try to stay away from it as much as possible.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. We'll be joined by offensive line coach Paul Sade.
I lost my job and I needed help with different things like prescriptions and energy assistance and stuff. So I contacted United Way. They was the first ones that I could think of. And I went to the agencies that they gave me a list of and got the assistance that I needed from them. Because I received the help from United Way, then I'm volunteering my help out to the community, giving the help that they need.
Hey football fans, do you want to keep track of Churubusco High School football games? Log on to busconews.com every game day and watch up-to-the-minute pregame, halftime, and postgame interviews with head coach Lee Etzler. Stay connected with your computer or on your cell phone. busconews.com. When you can't make it to the game, it's the next best thing to being there. The Lee Etzler Show is brought to you by the United Way of Whitley County, busconews.com, and the Churubusco News.
Welcome back to the Lee Etzler Show. We're here with the offensive line coach, Paul Sade. The line has blocked for over 2,400 yards already this season in just 7 games and show no signs of stopping. Paul, it's nice to have you here.
Thanks, Don. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
2,400 yards, that's an accomplishment for 7 games.
Yeah, it helps that we have 2 or 3 of the best, probably the best athletes we've had at Churubusco in the backfield, and our guys are pretty excited about having the opportunity to block for them, and they take it upon themselves. We talk about it a lot, and we talked about it a lot this summer. That kind of talent in the backfield doesn't happen very often, and take it upon yourself, be leaders, and be excited about the opportunity to block for somebody like that. So they're pretty excited about it every game.
You want to go ahead and talk a little bit about your line?
Yeah, in our offense, our guards are pretty important. They pull almost every play, and a lot of schools that run the wing T offense, ideally you'd have big, fast guys. Well, we have fast guys that aren't very big. So at guard we have right now Zach Armstead, that everybody knows him as Blue, and Zach Adams, and then Eric Kuznar is back for us. Eric Kuznar is obviously a lot bigger than anybody else we have. But those are 3 guys that are not afraid to get out there and mix it up. When they pull on our sweeps and stuff, they're looking for somebody to hit every play, and they take pride, and we take pride in how hard we block, and we reward good blocks, and we reward speed and getting out in front. So those guys do a very good job. At center is a junior, Chris Eaker. He's somebody that we moved from tackle this year. And center's pretty important in our offense because, it's the anchor of the offensive line, and Eaker doesn't say much, and that's okay with us. He knows his rules, he knows his job, and the kids respect him, and Monk's very comfortable taking the snaps from him, and he's really grown a lot this year, not necessarily physically, but mentally he's a very good football player for us. At tackles, we've got really three. Brian Richardson has been moved to tackle, and he's been doing a pretty good job for us. He's a sophomore, so he's still got a few years left, and he's doing a good job. Charlie Holstenbeck's a senior, and he is a pretty strong kid. He's not afraid of contact, and he'll mix it up with people. And then Dustin Arvola, or Bob, is, he's a senior. He's somebody that I think is probably more than anybody is a credit to his work ethic, is what he's become today. He understands the game of football, and sometimes will analyze things more than he needs to, but has worked very hard to get where he is today, and he's a big part of our line. Tight ends, we have Jordan Turner and Spencer Conrad, and obviously Jordan Turner is a returning all-conference player from last year. He's a senior, and he is he's both of them really are threats. Not only are they great blockers, but they're threats to catch the ball as well. Spencer Conrad's a big dude, and he's kind of got a guards mentality. With those two guys playing tight end for us, it's a very important position in our offense. We ask a lot out of our tight ends, and they do a good job, and the coaches in our league know it. Jordan Turner, like I said, was all conference last year and maybe had 5 catches all year, but was such a good blocker that they recognize that, and so those two guys do a real good job for us.
You had the opportunity to play for Coach Etzler in his first season here, and now you joined the coaching staff. You've been this your 3rd season now. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I coached a few years at Shenandoah when I was at Ball State, and had the opportunity to come back and work with the offensive line, and I was pretty excited about it because I think very highly of Coach Etzler and of the coaching staff, and I think everybody does a pretty good job. We're a small school, but we take it very seriously, and I know that his philosophy is, above anything, is to hold kids accountable and to make them better young men than are before they get to them, and that's something that I have a lot of respect for.
We want to thank offensive line coach Paul Sade for stopping by and talking with us. Stick around, we'll be right back with Lee Etzler about the big game this Friday against Fairfield.
I lost my job, and I needed help with different things like prescriptions and energy assistance and stuff. So I contacted United Way. They was the first ones that I could think of. And I went to the agencies that they gave me a list of and got the assistance that I needed from them. Because I received the help from United Way, then I'm volunteering my help out to the community, giving the help that they need.
The Lee Etzler Show is brought to you by the United Way of Whitley County, BuscoNews.com, and the Churubusco News.
Welcome back. We're here talking with Coach Etzler about Busco's big conference game against the Fairfield Falcons. What's your feelings on the upcoming game with Fairfield?
Well, it's a game we look forward to every year. Fairfield beaten us the last 4 years. They've been conference champion the last 4 years. They were sectional champion last year, and they have quite a few kids coming back. So poses a pretty big challenge.
What are we facing when we go against Fairfield, their offense?
Starts with the quarterback, Chase Pinion. He runs their offense very, very good.
And their defense, what are we looking at when we face them?
They're strong and pretty good size, and just like offensively, they don't put a kid on the defensive side of the ball. It's not a very good athlete. We can't expect. We're going to have to drive the football again to be successful on them. With their athleticism on defense, we're not going to run around them.
We want to thank Coach Etzler for taking the time to talk with us every week. We want to remind you to watch the Lee Etzler Show every Thursday night at 7:30 right here on BuscoNews.com. I'm Don Hyatt, and we'll see you next week.
This has been the Lee Etzler Show, brought to you every Thursday night at 7:30 by BuscoNews.com.